when we go to salvage a deal, the first thing we've got to do is make sure that the buyer is still even conceivably in the box, because sometimes they're not, and there's not much we can do. Once we do that, we've got to make sure that we resell the deal and the market appropriately, and then, of course, propose a solution. But let's talk about the buyer for a minute. In terms of reassessing buyer motivation, one of the things that we're seeing, and I know that all of us really on the team, and talking to all of our past clients, our current clients, and really just approaching them to understand what's happening in the market right now. So many of the deals that are dying out there right now are dying simply based on fear. And fear, it can be very paralytic to a lot of people, and we're going to talk about how to overcome some of those things here in just a second. But remember that in all walks of life, a fear-based decision is certainly never the right way to operate a business. But the first thing that we've got to do when we go into deal salvaging mode is we have got to let the buyer vent their fears and frustrations. We don't get anywhere by simply being dismissive of what they're saying, or that's not a real problem, or whatever it is. If they're feeling it, it's real to them. So we've got to hear it. We've got to hear that emotional side, because we need to remember that as human beings, while we might use logic and numbers and rationalizations, it really is a cover for the fact that most of the time we're making emotional decisions. We're doing what we want to do. So if there's emotion driving this escrow cancellation or this proposed escrow cancellation, we've got to understand what that is and let a person feel heard and acknowledge that with empathy. But then you've pretty quickly got to move on. And one of those things is to take it out of the realm of subjectivity and bring it into something that's objective and much more quantifiable. So if they believe that there's something wrong with the deal, something that causes them not to want to own it in the future, to the extent possible, you have got to try to quantify that gap. Okay, what is it? What do you really think? Oh, I think collections are going to fall off a cliff because we're so dependent on this, and so I don't think that Q3 and Q4 are going to look like Q2. Okay, well, what does that actually look like? So you want to take it out of this realm of the market's terrible, we don't know what's going to happen, and try to have a discussion with them where you quantify it. It's only in quantifying what they actually believe the disruption is going to be that you can try to propose a solution.